Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk, and with me is the lovely Richard Suggett. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Now, we are looking for fairies, ladies and gentlemen, on a very windy day. I think all fairies may have blown away.
Yes, I don't think we'll see any, but it'd be good if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move along a little bit and just let everybody know where we are, because I've not been here before, and this is a very lovely bit of old woodland.
It is, isn't it?
It looks like there's a little hole over there. Shall we just have a quick look?
Yeah, I think the recent rain has just filled this up with water. It looks like an old pond almost.
It's coming up here. Yeah, it does look like a pond, but it may actually just be a dip, maybe.
Yeah, but
very
nice.
Nice.
A lot of water, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go on this side of you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The reason we are here is... so we told where we are? We're in Crossbush Woods, or woods near Crossbush, which is just east of Arundel, over the other side of the River Arun.
That's right, yes.
It's quite high up, sort of at the top of the valley, I suppose, that would have looked down between, well, the Arun Valley, I guess.
Yes, I would have thought so, yes.
Before you get to Arundel. Anyway, as you know, I have this book called Tales of Sussex, and I've been investigating some of these legends and things. And in the book, this is one of those sort of things that's almost glossed over.
Yes, that's right.
And it just sort of mentions that things like, you know, there's lots of legends, there's lots of myths, there's lots of stories in old Sussex. One of which is in the Warning Camp area, or just west of Arundel, I think he says, that an old sailor returning from the Napoleonic Wars used to claim that they were fairies.
That's right, yes.
Now, that's a very strange thing, you know, a sailor claiming fairies. You would think that a sailor would be a lot more sensible, he'd seen a lot of things. But actually, it may not be as mad as you might think. No.
Well, we've been analysing it, haven't we, and thinking.
We have.
What could it be?
What could it be? And actually, when you have some credence, if you give it some credence and you think, well, okay, what's behind that then? A sailor. I think the key is the Napoleonic Wars. Particularly, I think he came back from Waterloo, the Battle of Waterloo. And you can imagine a sailor there. There's a lot of bangs, there's a lot of explosions, cannons.
Yeah.
You think what it was like in the First World War, those soldiers coming back shell-shocked.
Yes.
And there were no modern day medicines, there's no psychologists or anything. And actually, it sort of makes sense that perhaps he was seeing things or reliving experiences which, you know, fairies, lights, mysterious creatures.
Yeah.
Because we do know that fairies don't really exist. And
never say never.
Well, we'll never say never. And of course, on the Downs, there are places where fairies used to be. You were telling me also there was...
There's sightings up in Park Mount where we done a recent video.
Oh yeah, that's right, near Pulborough. So it's not a complete unknown thing to have these things. So what are they? So I think that it could well be somebody who's had some terrible experiences and is seeing strange things. I mean, at first I thought, I wonder if it was glowworms, you know, lights and flickers and things like that.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. If you've ever seen glowworms out at night, I remember walking home from the pub one night and just came across this bush, and there were hundreds and hundreds of glowworms on this tiny little bush.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're dying out, aren't they, glowworms? You don't see as many.
Don't see as many, no. No.
And I remember as a kid going somewhere and seeing a whole load of glowworms and being so impressed. But now it just seems so incredibly rare. This is a beautiful woodland, I have to say. This coppice, I guess it's hazel. I've seen some catkins on the floor. I just want to take you through some of this, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. You've got the stools, and then you've got these very straight, naked, denuded poles And I don't know what they would use them for these days, but it is absolutely beautiful to see. Curious woodland. But this is coppiced, and of course these stools are quite old. Not so much round here, but actually I can see ahead there's some older stools. So one can surmise that there has been woodland here for some time.
Yes, definitely.
And also there's some old, when we parked up, there were some banks, you know, that delineate the area, and they would have been wood banks. So, in fact, we're just coming up to one now. So that tells you that there was woodland here. I think he doesn't give dates. Oh, well, because he does. He gives dates. He says it's after the Napoleonic Wars. Yeah. And we know that Waterloo was 1812.
Yes. So
anybody who knows the Waterloo, who did that? Tchaikovsky.
No idea.
In classical music, the 1812 overture was Tchaikovsky.
Take your word on that.
Yeah. So his book was published in 1834. So 1812. Yeah, you know. Oh, they've been coppicing here. Look at this. It's amazing. It's so windy everywhere else, but we've come into this sort of open bit here.
It's so nice and still,
isn't it? It's absolutely, what a difference that makes.
Yeah.
This is a very beautiful walk as well.
It is. I mean, despite the wind, the day today is beautiful. We both wanted to go out filming other things, and the wind just stopped us, and now we're here.
And yeah, I love these silvery poles of wood that are sprouting from the ground. I just absolutely find it. And then you go through this sort of weird, it is quite spooky, well, it would be at night time, quite spooky little, but beautiful little pathway.
But what I thought as well, looking on the map earlier, and relating this back to the story of the sailor, I'm not sure if it's definitely this bit of woods we're in, but certainly one of these copses around here is called Sailor's Copse.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, now, I didn't know that. How interesting.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if it was named after this sailor. Because I don't know. I mean, I haven't been able to do much research because it is quite literally just a passing statement in this book. So I don't have a name of the sailor or anything like that. But I guess there would be some record of the sailor whose name is, whose copse it is. Possibly.
And maybe that's what he did. He came back with perhaps some money, a bit mentally disturbed from the Battle of Waterloo, and yeah, bought a bit of land and coppiced it. Who knows? It's a big puddle there.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, thanks. Was that a loud retort?
That was a loud retort.
You weren't shot, sir. One over the bow. Yeah, wow. This is very rewarding just as a walk as well.
Yes.
Very nice. I haven't seen any fairies though.
No, none at all. Shame.
But here we go. We get a sense of the age of it because if I just come round here, look. There, covered in moss, is a very large old stump. Looks like it could have been an oak, and no doubt, you know, because this coppice is not that old, the hazel or whatever it is, whereas oak would have been much older and used for building boats and things, possibly during the Battle of Waterloo. This is very lovely. This is a very lovely walk, and we're so sheltered. I'm just so impressed.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Because it has been blowing. The last few days has been blowing a hooey, as they say.
Yeah.
And there are still oaks in here, actually. When you look around in between, here's one. So that's clearly what this was. And this oak must be. I mean, it's a beautiful oak. Have a look up here. That's got to be 200 or 300 years old, isn't it?
Easily, yes.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Can't get my arms around it.
See if we can reach each other. Oh yeah,
Yes.
just about.